Fellow home business owners, I'm going to share with you something that's actually missing from almost every home business owner. And this one thing that is missing is causing it to take you, most likely, probably several years longer to go where you want to go, to be financially free, and for a lot of you to no longer have to need a job anymore for any part of your income. This one thing has to do with, well, there's probably about 9 out of 10 people who get their eyeballs on your presentation. 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, something like that. Probably more than half the people that watch your presentation aren't ready to get into your deal, your primary thing, or they're not ready right now. So do you have any plan for those people? Because after all, it is the majority of people that you talk to, the majority of people that actually watch your presentation. Most of you have no plan whatsoever. You've only got a plan for the people that say yes, and the people that say yes right now. Well, what about the bulk majority of everybody else? Do you think it would help you if you knew what to do with all those people and what to offer them and how to respond? Would that help you at all? God, that's a big fat yes. I hope it is. It should be. And I made my first $100,000 plus online on social media for free. And what I mean by free is no advertising budget whatsoever. And this has a big part to do with that. And I'm going to tell you what it is right now. Okay, so we've established the bulk majority of the people that you talk to and that watch your presentation, they're not ready for your deal, or they're just flat not interested. Who knows? It's going to be a combination of the two. So what is it? What's the common denominator? This is the first part of, we'll call it your homework if you really want to solve this problem and get to where you want to go much more quickly. What is the common denominator in all these people that are saying no, or that they're saying in various ways that they're just not ready right now? Is it a money thing? Is it a self-belief thing? Is it a timing thing? Is it a time thing where they have no time? A combination of time and money? Or maybe they think it's too good to be true, they're skeptical, all those kinds of things. What's the common denominator? You got to think about that, because that's the first step in solving this problem. So I'm going to use a common denominator, and that's going to be money. So, and that's certainly true for my primary deal, so I chose to solve that problem. So I've got my front end offer, and that is, my primary deal, and I get their eyeballs on the presentation, whatever form that looks like. And at that point, my favorite closing question is right after I ask them what they like most about what they just saw, and I get them to open up a little more about their goals and put that back in the forefront of their brain. Then, the point where I ask them to make a decision is something along the lines of, okay, that's fantastic. Do you want to get started now or later? So if it's later, or not interested, or no, or whatever, most of the time it's later. Sometimes it's now, and that's always cool when that happens. But the bulk majority, it's not now, it's later, or some variation of that. So when we get to that point, if it's appropriate, I will say something along the lines of, no problem. When you're ready for this in your own time, I'm ready for you. I'd love to do this with you. Now, by the way, I've got this list of 31 ways of raising money now without having any money. And this list I just give away for free. So would it help you at all if you had this list of 31 ways of raising money without having any money to maybe start solving that problem? Because if it is, I'd be more than happy to send it to you. And they almost always say yeah. The bulk majority almost always says yes to my back end offer. They weren't ready for my front end offer for whatever reason. So I give them this back end thing. And the way that I invite them like that, with that kind of verbiage, almost every time they say yes. It raises curiosity and less resistance. Now, here's the cool thing about saying, when you're ready in your own time, I'm ready for you. They don't really hear that from anybody else. In this part of the sales process, for most home business owners, they're starting to feel heat and starting to feel weird and like they're stupid because they're not ready right now when they were invited. That's the common experience for people, and that is probably the primary reason why people frown upon our industry, is because how they've been treated by other people. And the only reason why there's so many people in our industry that don't treat people very good is because anybody can get in this industry. I mean, the qualification is easy. You just have to have a small sum of money and 18 years old, and that's it. People that get rejected by Walmart and McDonald's, we will accept them because there's no judgment on somebody's past, which is tremendous opportunity. But the negative side of that coin is we'll take anybody, even people who are not nice. So I believe that's why there's people out there that have these vast misconceptions about what it is that we do. But just so you understand that, okay, so back on point with this video. So nobody says things like that to them. No problem when you're ready in your own time, I'm ready for you. So now we get into the back end offer. By the way, and then you go into it just like I just did with you. I gave you an example, and it's one that I use, and I use it because it's probably the most common for most of you too. But if there's a different common denominator within your prospects, you got to figure out what that is, and then just fill in the blanks, change the words, but keep the concept the same, and don't make it difficult. I've got the 31 ways of raising money without any money. Obviously, I had to do some research about this, and I've tried a lot of these out, by the way. They're tried and proven. And the ones I haven't tried out, there's other people that have, so every one of them is tried and proven. And it wasn't a big deal to go out and learn about it. It took some time. It was an investment of my time, but it wasn't anything that you couldn't do because it wasn't difficult. It just took some time. You could read web pages, some blogs. You can do keyword searches in Google or YouTube or wherever, and you can find endless resources about how to do anything you could ever possibly want so that you could teach it. So find out what that is, that common denominator that's going on in your prospect's mind and their perception, not what you think it is, but what it actually is in their perception, that common denominator, that problem, and solve it. And that can be your back end offer. So there you go. Okay, so at that point, they say, yeah, that would be great. Thanks, Tom. I think that would help me. And then I'll write back, okay, cool, here's a link. It's on the right side of the right column of this page. So here it is. Do me a favor, please let me know that you got this. I want to make sure that you got it. And after you listen to it, I'd love to hear, even if it's just one or two items off of that list, just anything you hear that you can start implementing right away that you think would help you out. So now I'm going for further engagement. I'm not going to go back and forth with them forever and spend a lot of time with that, but that's something quick and simple, and that's generally for the time being the last back and forth with that person. But it gets them to actually put their eyeballs on it, or their listening ears in this case, because this one is an audio file. So they're more likely to do it and to take it in so that they can answer the question, and it helps them to open their brain up to the possibilities that's out there for them as they listen to this audio file. And I also plant that seed of implementing right away, even if it's just one or two things. So now what's happening is I'm going to get more people to take in my back-end offer. And for those that follow through with it and get results, here's something that happens that's actually kind of magical. Like, they're going to get these results. And as they get these results from something that was free, they're going to be like, the conversation that goes on inside of their mind, wow, that Tom, he really over-delivered. I feel like I just got $200 or $2,000 or whatever worth of value over something that he gave me for free. So what's it going to be like when I invest a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 or whatever it is into Tom's deal? Then what kind of value am I going to get? Is it going to be $2 million worth of value? I mean, when you start being faithful with the little things, then you get rewarded and you get the bigger things. And that's a two-way street. Very much so it is. So you need to start thinking in terms of that. And by the way, your back-end offer doesn't have to be a free thing. For me, it just seems to work that way. It could be, let's say your primary thing is like a $200 thing, and they're just not ready for that. You could back-end them with something that is only $20 but has a ton of value. That's the burden on giving away that back-end thing, whether it's something that's significantly less money or if it's free. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, you have to over-deliver on that value and influence them to want to come back more because you were faithful with that little thing or the free thing or whatever it was. Because that's the conversation that's going to be going on inside of their mind. Your credibility shoots up. You start to diminish their skepticism and their doubts and whether or not that you're legit, right? And certainly you can understand that. I hope you can understand it when somebody writes you back and says, or over the phone or whatever, that it just seems too good to be true, and there's so many of these out there, and so many of them are junk. It's like, how do I know this is for real? Nothing against you personally. You got to understand that. And you should certainly recognize that you understand it, because it's true. All of us get pitched by a bunch of junk every day online. So you got to understand that. So by you back-ending them with something that's appropriate and something that they actually really care about, and you engage them the way that I just gave you an example of, a great way of engaging them so that they actually take in and absorb and use and implement it fast, by doing all of that stuff, and you get some people that are going to do it and see it through, and that happens, your credibility goes up, and they're just overall they're more than likely to come back because you're monetizing, you're following the basic laws of promotion that's existed on planet Earth and the universe for thousands of years and probably always will. Just be faithful with the little things. So start thinking in terms of that. That is your homework, my call to action to you, and that's to start thinking about the common denominator and implement that fast, and then do some research on it so that you can teach it and put together something, whether it's a video, an audio file, a Word document or a PDF file that they can read, a free report, whatever it is, and over deliver on that value. If it's free or if it's a couple bucks or $20 or whatever it is, make sure you over deliver on that value so that they feel compelled to be like, oh my God, I just got like $200 worth of value off of this $2 thing, or $1,000 of value off this thing you just gave me for free. What kind of value am I going to get when I go in for a couple $100s? I know I said that once before in this video, but repetition is the mother of learning, especially for yours truly. And by the way, most of the people that I've ever enrolled, very few come in the first time that they've ever heard my deal, but most of them come in afterwards because they heard me say, when you're ready, in your own time, ready for, you'd love to do this with you, and or because of that back-end offer that I did for them. And one thing that I especially love about the back-end offer that is actually relevant to what they care about is that it helps them to raise some money. Now they can also, not only did they learn how to raise money, they can do that on demand now. They need some extra money, they can do it, they learn some skills, but now they've also got money for getting into my deal with me. That's a pretty cool thing. And you might have a time management thing that you're offering. Somebody that says they wish they could, but they don't have the time. You could back end them an offer with that. You could do multiple things. It doesn't just have to be, because I got a healthy grocery list. A lot of people, they wish they could eat healthy and this and that, but they're just not sure what to do. Great, I can back end them with that. Or maybe they might take my back end offer and front end offer all at the same time. It could go that way too. But the point being is that now if you do this, you're going to have something that you can offer to everybody, and it's going to be in a way that raises up the curiosity, builds your credibility and your trustworthiness. Those are huge. That's long-term business growth, and it's also much faster. So you got faster business growth and long-term business growth all at once. Success loves speed. You don't have to take forever to get to your goals, and you don't have to have a back-end offer, and you still could get there. In fact, I'd say you will if you're consistent long enough. But you'll get there a lot quicker if you have some simple strategies like this in place. I hope that made sense. Go to my website, tomberkenmeyer.com. I'm Tom Berkenmeyer, by the way. And check out my 31 ways of raising money now, even if you don't need to because you're doing fine financially. You could take notes and learn it, and then you could teach it to people to build up your credibility, maybe something with your back-end offer. Right? So do that. It'll be good for you. It'll be good for people that you touch in the process. And then, hint, hint, dig around my website, and if you got intense value from the 31 ways or anything from my website, start looking at the stuff that costs money too. If you got a ton of value from all the free stuff, I got a lot of free content on my website that can help you get results. It can equip you to earn 6 figures, 7 figures. It really, honest to God, can. I've got so much free content that people have gotten results with. You can too. And if you like what you see at tomberkenmeyer.com, you like the free stuff, look at the stuff that you got to pay for. Hint, hint. That's a massive message of this video, a back-end offer and providing value. Bottom line, that's what it's about. Whether your offer, your front end or your back end is free or costs money, a little bit, a lot of money, over deliver on that value. tomberkenmeyer.com is, in my opinion, a shining example of that. That's why all the hints here. Dig around, you're going to see it. So much value, so much of it's for free. Some of it's extremely few dollars, and some of it's several hundreds of dollars. pick out, cherry pick, whatever makes sense for you. And if you dig it and if I've over delivered on the value, whether it's free or just a few bucks, then look at more of the higher end, high shelf stuff. And just imagine the kind of value you're going to get from that. That's a pretty cool call to action to end with that's actually relevant to the topic of this very video itself. I hope you dig it. And as always, as you get results and things are going good, I'd love to hear about it. Share it with me. I love success stories, just as you do, I'm sure, or otherwise you probably wouldn't be in this industry. Take care, everyone. I will see you soon. The next video is always coming out pretty soon. Bye for now.